The Macintosh, the computer that changed Apple. In the early 1980s, computers were beginning to enter homes and offices. But there was still a problem. Computers were powerful, but they weren't easy to use. For most people, using one meant typing commands and understanding instructions that looked complicated and unfamiliar. Steve Jobs believed computers should be different. In 1979, during a visit to Xerox PARC, Jobs saw something that would change his vision of personal computing. It was the Xerox Alto. The Alto had something unusual for its time: a graphical interface, Windows icons, and a mouse. Instead of typing complicated commands, a person could point at something on the screen and click. Today, that sounds completely normal. In 1979, it was revolutionary. Jobs saw something bigger than a research project. He saw a future where ordinary people could use computers without needing to understand how the machines worked. And he wanted Apple to build that future. The Macintosh team. Apple began developing a computer that would bring this idea to ordinary consumers. The project became known as the Macintosh. Jobs became deeply involved in the project. He demanded simplicity, beautiful design, and an experience that felt completely different from traditional computers. The Macintosh team worked under enormous pressure. They were not simply building another computer. They were trying to change the relationship between people and technology. The machine was designed to be approachable. Instead of staring at lines of commands, users could interact with pictures, windows, and menus using a mouse. It was a radical idea. But Jobs' obsession with perfection also created tension. He could be demanding, difficult, and relentless. Still, the Macintosh team continued. And eventually, the machine was ready. 1984. Apple wanted the Macintosh launch to be unforgettable. The company created a television commercial directed by Ridley Scott. The commercial showed a dark, controlled world and ended with a powerful message. 1984 won't be like 1984. It aired during the Super Bowl and immediately attracted enormous attention. Then came January 24, 1984. Steve Jobs walked onto the stage at the Flint Center in Cupertino. In front of the audience was a small beige computer, the Macintosh. Jobs pulled it from its bag and introduced it to the world. Then something remarkable happened. The Macintosh spoke through its screen. The audience watched as the machine demonstrated what made it different. For Apple, this wasn't simply the launch of another computer. It was a declaration about the future. But success wasn't guaranteed. The Macintosh was revolutionary, but revolutionary did not automatically mean commercially successful. It was expensive, and early sales were weaker than Apple had hoped. Inside Apple, pressure was growing. Steve Jobs had become one of the company's most recognizable figures, but his leadership style was creating serious tension. The Macintosh had made Jobs famous, but it had also placed him in the middle of a growing struggle over Apple's future. Who should control the company? What direction should Apple take? And what role should Steve Jobs have in that future? The answers would soon change everything. Steve Jobs had helped create Apple. He had helped create the Macintosh. But the company he helped build was about to turn against him. Steve Jobs was about to lose Apple. And that is where the story takes a dramatic turn. Steve Jobs had lost the company he helped create, but Apple was not finished and neither was Steve Jobs. In Part 3, we'll discover what happened after Jobs left Apple, the company he built next, and how his journey would eventually lead him back to the company that had pushed him out. Subscribe to Empire Chronicles documentary and follow the complete Apple story.